Okay. My name is Joy Milf, and welcome to our show, Joy Milf and Murda Back.
For guidance, here we go.
Welcome back to the Poor Guidance Podcast.
Yep. Welcome.
All right, so boom. Welcome back to the Poor Guidance Podcast.
So we decided that we were going to come back with a little bit of knowledge to drop.
Yeah.
We wanted to give y'all the 10 commandments of poor guidance taken on Thailand.
Right. So as you may know, or if you're new to this channel, you might not know, we took a trip to Southeast Asia. We went to Abu Dhabi, Bangkok, Phuket, Phi Phi Island, and Cambodia. So we just wanted to give y'all a little bit of knowledge that we...
Let's be clear, we went back to Bangkok, then back to Abu Dhabi, and then we came back.
Yeah, it was a long trip.
Yeah, on the calendar it said 10 days. In reality, it felt like probably 20, but It was fun. We decided to come up with 10 commandments that you should follow if you are thinking about traveling to any of those areas that we said.
Number 10.
Yep. Thou will breathest on thy neck.
On thy kitchen.
On thy kitchen.
AKA ain't no personal space, bitch.
Exactly.
Zero.
If you've ever traveled anywhere outside of really any parts of Asia, folks do not care about your personal space at all. People will be as close to you as your skin, first of all. And on top of that, you also got the bugs too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So many times I turned around like,
Can
I get a little bit of space? Like,
exactly.
I mean, the whole trip, it's whatever.
Yeah, you'll get used to it. And another thing, along with their bodies, are their eyes. Mm-hmm. They will stare at you. They'll ask for pictures. They'll stare at you and won't say anything at all. Even if you wave, you say hello.
They literally be like...
You'll say hello in their language and they still won't speak to you, but they'll stare. So you'll have to get used to that. It's a little annoying, but you can't get offended by it.
I feel like going in, we knew there was going to be stares.
Oh, for sure.
But I did not realize how uncomfortable. Like, I feel like the phrase for the whole trip was, "Is there something on my face?"
Yeah, because it felt like they were just staring.
And I feel like it was a lot of older white men, too. But I honestly think that they just wanted to have conversation.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they'd be like, "Oh, well, where you guys from?" We're like...
Right.
You've been staring for 20 minutes. So you could have just said that a long time ago.
Yeah. So, just know you ain't got no personal space at all while you're on it.
Bug spray was the best thing.
Oh, yeah.
Sliced bread.
Yeah. In Cambodia, the mosquitoes were like everywhere. It was terrible. You definitely want to bring bug spray. We had a couple of the bands. We didn't really use any little bug bands, but get some sweat resistant, water resistant something, because you're going to need it for all the mosquitoes that they have.
We had it everywhere, over our bags, over our clothes, before every time we left up, the hotel or whatever. It was perfect. So I only came back with 3 mosquito bites.
Really? I only had 1. Where were yours? Just talk about, can I see?
No.
Right. Number 9.
Number 9. Thou shalt not bear ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's mainly for the temples and like the holy places that you go to. Now, Thailand is hot AF. Really, all of the places are.
Sweating.
Yeah, and a lot of them say they dress modestly and all of that stuff, but you only need it when you're going into the temples. And really, you can buy cover-ups. If y'all notice, which, by the way, if you have not watched our recap video, please, PGTV, please go watch it so you can put everything into context. Yes. But you really don't have to worry about what you're wearing while you're there and just out and about. But when you go into the temples, everybody, you have to have your shoulders covered and you have to have like
your knees,
shin length clothes.
But really, just go and bring it down to the feet.
And then also, ladies, ain't no need for heels in none of the places. Maybe Abu Dhabi if you want to go out. But the club scene, nightlife, all of that stuff, you could just wear sandals and you'll be fine. But no need. Save the space when you're packing.
Yes.
No need for the heels and the stilettos.
Didn't even think about wearing them.
Yeah, not at all.
It was funny when we were at the hotel, the guy that checked us in saw Joyce's outfit and was like, "You wearing that to the temples?"
Oh, yeah. He was like, man. He was all, Joy, you want to get...
Right. He's like, it's cool. I got a little wrap or whatever.
Right. So. Simple fix, though, so it was cool.
All right, number 8.
Honor thy wildlife.
Yes. So I feel like Thailand is known for their animals. You know, you always see people riding elephants, going to Tiger Kingdom, things of that nature. Me and Joyce did a lot of research before we left.
More than what we wanted to.
She kept sending me articles on these tigers, and I was like, if you send me another article, I'm not going.
All right, so real quick, I gotta spoil this for everybody who I have to share just only snippets. So I was reading articles about Tiger Kingdom, which is infamous for petting tigers and stuff like that. But we really read deep. In 2016, apparently they got shut down and raided because they were mistreating animals. They found like over 40 dead tigers in the freezer in the back. They were people who volunteered with the Tiger Kingdom and like basically didn't complete their mission trip or whatever. They told their stories and they were talking about how they were misfed. They were fed marijuana substances mixed inside their food, which everybody kind of already knows that
they're mistreated.
Yeah, that they're probably high, but even how they're fed, really the kinfolk and everybody else, they might not be treated right. And then another thing too is even those baby cubs that we all love to feed and everything, they were overfeeding them. Like they were feeding them so much to where they were spitting out milk by the end of the day because so many people wanted to come in and feed them. So you just really got to do your research. And of course, people always only report the negative things, but you have to say, like, what's something normal for this tiger to be doing? And you hanging on or pulling his tail from behind, but standing at your distance and stuff like that, that's probably not the most ethical thing. Now, the pictures are dope. We all wanted to. And that was, like, at the top of our list for Thailand when we first started doing it. But
that's what I think of when I think of Thailand. I think of tigers immediately. Yeah. But not knowing that they are extremely mistreated. So it wasn't worth it on our end.
Yeah.
We did, though, go to the elephant sanctuary, which was a dope experience. It was more of feeding them and playing with them and washing them and things like that versus riding them. There was a lot of riding experiences there. We decided not to. We opted out of that as well. But
riding the elephants.
Riding the elephants. What'd I say?
Well, because we didn't opt out of riding everything, but
I don't want to talk about it. I feel like that kind of drove. I don't want to talk about it. We rode a camel in Abu Dhabi and we just felt so bad.
Yeah, that was the first spot. We went and it was like, okay, we'll ride the camels, strong backs. They did it in the Bible. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe they rode donkeys. But either way, we went and we saw the camel as we were approaching and we were like, are we both supposed to get on this?
Right.
And our tour guide actually recorded the camel getting up on its legs with both of us on top. And we were just like, poor camel.
I literally was like, I can't wait for this to be over because it just was, I felt so bad. So I'm so glad we stopped at that point. But Elephant Sanctuary, I would definitely recommend if anybody's thinking about going. Such a cool experience.
Yeah. Talk about being put into their space and us having to adapt. That's what that was. It was cool because we were doing everything that they would normally do instead of like us petting them and that being it. Like they were playing, they were very alert. We were just completely in their environment. And
those type of like elephants, they do eat all day. So like feeding them wasn't a problem. Like if you're feeding tigers all day, like they eventually are going to get sick. So, I mean, it doesn't affect elephants at all, which was kind of cool. At the end of the day, do your research about these animals before you go.
Yeah, and then if you do watch this and then you go to Thailand and you're just posting pictures of you at Tiger Kingdom, shame on you.
I'm going to feel some type of way.
I'm just kidding.
It's good. I don't care at all.
They're still probably going to be high.
They definitely. If you're standing next to a tiger and they haven't eaten you, something isn't right.
That and they're not like alert because we do see stuff where people are like playing with the tigers and they're doing this and they're doing that. They just might be brought up differently, and that's fine. But if they have not moved since you've been there, then you might not want.
Might be a little sketchy.
Might not want to promote it, and don't tag your location because the vultures will troll you. So, but
including us. Just kidding. I don't care. Like I said. Right. Number 7. Thou shalt not steal, but thou shalt bargain.
Yeah, shout. You shout bargain.
Yes.
Yeah, that's with everything. So that's with the taxis, the tuk-tuks, which are like the little motorbike wagon type things that are super cheap for you to get on. Yes. You have to bargain like crazy and don't take Well, you can take no for an answer, but
I did not. The currency there is called bahts. It's I don't know how much it was for $1 on $1. Do you remember?
30 cents, was it?
Was it 30 cents?
I think it was 30 because 100 bahts was $3.
Okay. So, basically, like, we would go into a market and they'll be like 200 bahts, and we'd be like, absolutely not.
Right.
I will not pay 200 bahts for 12 shirts.
Right.
I'll pay 100 bahts, but
Right.
like, really, like, it's 30 cents.
We were crying over cents. Yeah.
So once you do the math, it's about 30 cents. But, you know, you put your foot down, and you get what you pay for.
What's funny, what we were talking about in our video is we went with these people and they had paid these tour guides type for this nightlife scene. And they had paid for our taxi to get home. They took us to like, what would be the equivalent of our maybe Waffle House or carry out?
Yes.
After or White
After
Castle.
hours,
Yeah, it was like that food hit. It was like the best meal of our lives
Best meal of the trip
while we
for
were
sure.
in Thailand. Yeah. So we thought they paid for our food too because they took us there and paid for our
everything
taxi.
else.
So we were like, well, we get up, we run across the street from the car. It's not necessarily from eating.
Right.
And some guy chases after us. He was like, man, you gotta pay. And we were like, oh, okay, sorry. We thought somebody else paid for it. Who? It looked like a lie.
Right.
We were like, how much is it? And he was like, what, 130 baht?
Yeah.
It was literally not even $4.
$3 was between the both of us.
Yeah, and that was split. So when Mikkel talks about us running out on the bill, we thought that somebody else had paid
was
for
innocent.
it, but it was only $3.
It was innocent, I promise.
But that was the best meal we had, and it was only $3. Like dummies, we had paid $20 for a meal, our first meal when we got into Bangkok. And I think that was just because we were being stupid. I don't know.
Well,
We were
first
being
of all,
tourists.
when I landed in Bangkok, I was on a different planet.
She was like, I don't know what's happening to my body.
I was having an outer body experience. I literally was like, I don't know if I'm hungry or if my head hurts. I just was trying to get on the time zone. It just was a mess.
Next commandment.
Yes.
Thou shalt not covet the American way.
I agree with this statement. Let me just, for the people in the back, covet means yearn or possess.
Yeah, so y'all should not yearn for the American
Don't
way.
do it. Don't go there and go get a Oreo Blizzard like I did.
Right. Don't go and get chicken tenders and fries,
Right.
please, because they have so much more to offer.
Right.
Yeah, and plus it's like a different expectation than what you think. So going to Chinatown to get Thai food or getting sushi is completely different than how us Americans. It's kind of like Chinese food and Panda Express.
Yeah.
Completely different things. And that's also just side note, don't drink the water. Get bottled or
everywhere
distilled
you
water.
go,
Yeah.
you go. It's not even an option.
Yeah.
It's good. They will bring it out. I don't think they're bringing out tap water because they know, but bottled water every time. Even on the plane, we were like, where you get that water from?
Right. Ice is safe though, for the most part. So
as long as it has the circles in it.
yeah, I heard if you have the holes in it, then it's good. But either way it goes, it wasn't messing up our stomachs too bad.
Yeah.
And then also language when it comes to the American way. So we were talking about it. We don't know how Americans get away with only speaking one language. Everywhere else, they learn for the most part. They learn or have the basics or whatever else. I feel like here people are like, you don't speak English? Like we get offended that people don't know how to speak the bare minimum
Right.
or whatever. We don't know none of their
They
language.
literally won't be able to function if they don't know a little bit of English.
Yeah.
Like you have to know how to carry a small sentence, and they do that, and we do not do that here. So
Yeah.
with that being said, we're picking up a new language.
Yeah, we'll surprise you with what it is at the end of the year when we go to that location. But yeah, so definitely want to learn the hi byes and thank yous.
Sawadee ka. Don't even know what I'm saying.
Right. That's it. Sawadee ka.
Sawadee ka.
Sawadee ka.
Yeah.
Yeah, that means hello. Yeah.
Do you remember thanks?
Kap kun ka.
Kap kun ka.
Kap kun ka. That
Every
means
time
thank
we
you.
say something, they'd be like, kap kun ka.
Right, fixing us. We
Right.
be all but we got it, and they understood it, and they like lit up. Whenever we walk somewhere, they say hello, and we say Sawadee ka, and they would be like,
They'd be like, y'all know how to speak Thai? Like, that's where
and then
it's for us.
we I tried to get into like basics, like no meat or whatever, but it was fine.
Stuff.
Yeah.
When we got to Bangkok's hotel, The guy was like, Sawadika, and bowed. And, I mean, you know to bow afterwards, but we didn't commit. We were like...
Talk about... Because we didn't want to be like too much,
right.
But
and that was our first experience with that too, so that was funny. But after that, we was
right. Talk about just being disrespectful,
right? And it's funny because in Cambodia they will do it back, so we just back from forth like. I'm like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, no, but you definitely got to learn the basics of that language anywhere you go, because that kind of took us a step further, and people was trying to talk a little bit more.
Right. Commandment 5.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not bear false witness thy flight.
Mm-hmm. Think about you wrote that? I wrote that.
Right. It don't even sound right.
I think it was me.
The flight was long.
It's basically bearing false witness is like lying on something. Don't underestimate that flight is no games.
Yeah. I stayed busy for the most part. I slept a lot. I don't really be sleeping on planes, and I'm just so blessed that I slept for as long as I did. How long did you sleep, Joyce?
I slept for 10 hours. So the flight was 12 hours. So I had a little bit of sleep aid, but I do remember eating the meals. I remember eating the meals, and
early.
then towards like the end of the flight, I know I was sitting in the middle, Mikhail was sitting on the end, and we had like this larger guy sitting on the right of us. And Mikhail got up, and I kind of felt the commotion. I looked at him, and he was looking at me. I was like, dang. I was like, you want to get up? And he was like, yeah. But respect, because he ain't want to wake me up.
Right.
So I had got up. We all used the bathroom. We all were up doing our yoga stretches, like in the back of the plane and stuff.
I was doing my high knees on the plane.
Right. But yeah, I got back to the screen or whatever, the movie screen, and it said something like a little bit less than 2 hours. And I was like, am I tripping? Yeah. Like, it literally felt like I had maybe been asleep for an hour. It was the shortest.
I mean, at that time, I had been up 3-4 times. I went to the bathroom.
Didn't even know you were there. I didn't even know where I was.
Yeah. So on that flight, they gave us 2 meals. On the flight coming back, they gave us 2 meals. That was the longest one. That was about 13 hours. Thank God I had snacks.
Yeah, Mikhail. So I think, did you put vegetarian meals for yours too?
No.
Okay, so she had booked our flights. She put vegetarian meals for me, and it was like a lot of pasta at one point because it was Etihad Airways, so which I think is like an Indian-based airline company or whatever. They had the Indian cuisine, and then they had like the American cuisine for both veggie meals. Everything I had was okay. It was at one point where I was asleep, and Mikhail was like, Joyce, you gotta try these mashed potatoes. But the way she said it, I was like, oh, they must be good.
Try these mashed potatoes.
Like, and I wasn't in my right mind. I was asleep.
Right.
And I literally took a spoonful, put it in my mouth, was like, oh. And it was so foul. Even the guy next to me was laughing, but I was confused as to why somebody would lie.
I didn't lie. I just said that you had to try it.
Okay, well, be mischievous.
Right.
So she put it in, and literally I was sitting there like, oh my God. She literally took something and scooped it out of my mouth. It was so bad.
Oh, I already knew her reaction. First of all, these mashed potatoes was one of the nastiest things I've ever tasted in my life.
It was so bad.
So I had like the chicken and mashed potatoes. So that was I was like trying to have an open mind. I was like, this is the beginning of the shrimp. Like, I was like, open mind. I literally was like, I'm about to throw up.
Yeah. And then on the way back, Mikhail was like, the woman, I don't know if she didn't know we were together or what, but Mikhail had moved seats to sit across. So she got her food offered to her before her, and she said, no, ma'am, I'm fine. I'll just take my hot water for my oatmeal that I always eat everywhere I go. And then the woman turned around, didn't know that I was looking, but she said to the other guy, she was like, she doesn't want it. Okay, then. And
yeah, this was day 10. Yeah. I am over it. I think I came back and got Chipotle, okay?
Ew. Mind you, all you see is me eating oatmeal. I mean, the pasta and the food and everything they're giving out each time.
Right.
I was okay. But we did have our snacks and our pizzas and potato wedges and all of that stuff before.
I did a little bit of research before, and I found this article that was like, calzones do well on long flights. Like, you don't really have to warm them up and they still taste well. False. I went out of my way to get this calzone.
Yeah, we literally stopped. Yeah,
like did the most. I literally took a bite and I was like, I'm just gonna go to sleep.
I had a Subway sandwich and I ate that when we got to Abu Dhabi. Yeah. Like I did not even touch it. But whatever you got to do to sleep through the flight, do that. But it worked for me, and it was...
So we left on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and we actually volunteered that day. And we were like, whatever we got to do, we just trying to be dead tired. Like, we going to make ourselves busy. I'll go work out if I have to.
I won't. Never. I promise I won't. I promise I will not.
No, so by the time we got to the plane, it was like a 9 o'clock flight. We had been going all day, just ate, popped a Benadryl. I was out. So it was good. So, think about that kind of stuff too, going up to your trip.
And we downloaded movies on top of movies on top of movies and playlists, everything. And then on top of that, the flight has movies put in, and they're pretty good movies like Black Klansman. They had everything.
Night School was on there.
Yeah, they had like 2. It's so bad. They had like 2 or 3 Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish movies and stuff like that. So they had them. It's just... When I say I didn't even open up my phone, I was asleep before we even took off.
Right.
But one of the most humbling experiences is they make you walk through business class to get to your economy, knees in the chest seat.
That was kind of took me to, to the heart.
Yeah. We were literally sitting there like, what we got to do?
And it was our ladies cheering champagne on the way back.
Before we even could get to our seats, they were coming out with trays and people fully reclined. So we was like, sooner than later, it's going to happen.
They did? Close them blinds. Right.
Talk about this way, man, please.
Right.
This way, peasants.
Right.
So just know that if we like here in maybe a year or 4, that we will be we will be in first class doing our videos. So just wait on it. Mark our words.
Yeah. I'm saying it now. So.
And we'll be saying it later.
Somebody sponsor us.
Right. ETI, we love our trip.
After y'all don't talk trash about the food.
Exactly. But real quick, last thing with the flights, these recliner seats are meant to recline. So no matter what the haters tell you, you can put your seat back.
Did some haters tell you something?
Some haters try to tell me thrice.
First of all, y'all joined every time we got on a plane.
No, it was just only twice. Only 2 times.
We was on at least 7 flights, y'all. Every
7
time.
Flights. 2 out of 7. 2 out of 7 flights. Literally 7 flights. 2 out of the 7 times. So the first flight was from Bangkok to Abu Dhabi. And that was only 6 flights. And long story short, it was only 5 to 6 hours. Long story short, I had reclined my seat. Me and Mikhail were both lethargic. We were like tired, and I felt some knees in my back, and I'm like, "Am I tripping, Mikhail?" I asked her, "I don't know why."
I'm asleep, so I'm like, "Nah, you ain't tripping." Back to sleep.
She just brushes me off, and I was like, "Okay, you right." And I literally go back to sleep, and I keep feeling it, and I turn around, and I'm like, "Ma'am, are you pushing my seat?"
Right.
I try to be super nice, and she was like, "No," and I'm like, "All right." So I turn back around. And she, I felt it a few minutes later, and I'm like, oh, she's playing games. Yeah. So I turned back around and said, could you please keep your knees still? So I didn't ask her to put her feet down, none of that. I just asked her. And then I turned back around, and she's saying a little bit of stuff, and I was like, excuse me. I'm still being super nice.
Right.
And then her boyfriend, who's on the window seat, was like, well, everybody else has where's she supposed to put her legs? And I was like under her seat like everybody else. And at this point, naturally, I'm a loud person. So my voice starts to elevate. And I was like, so I don't know if I was about to turn around or what, but she was like, the girl was like, no problem. Mind you, she is she wasn't white. No, she was white, but I don't think she was white American. But there was just a sense of an entitlement that was really irking my nerves. So,
we got that a lot on the trip.
Yeah, exactly. So, she was like, no problem. And I just very strongly said that it will be a problem if she continues to put her knees in my back. And I gave her and her boyfriend the eye, and the woman was like, okay. And that was the end of it. And I reclined my seat and felt like
the best part about this, though, as soon as that happened, the guy was like, ain't nobody else got their seat reclined at this point. So, of course, I'm like trying to push my shit back.
Mikhail was literally like,
I couldn't get my back. But the girl next to Joyce literally was like,
right, and goes straight back, like thank you, sister, and just reclines and literally doesn't say nothing.
I literally was like, thank you.
And then we had turned around and one guy, the guy was like, no problem, or I think that was like the second one, but yeah, they all had me messed up, and I was like, I worked too hard on this flight tonight.
Too much.
Exactly.
One real quick thing before it reminded me of the Abu Dhabi airport.
Oh yeah, I loved it so much.
I like the people. They have their wear their white gowns, the guys, and sandals.
Yeah, and the head wraps. It just was so ethnic. Like, it was, talk about culture. They had, and that, like, here we wear suits, security wears the suit jacket, the belts, all that.
30 pounds of stuff for no reason. Mm-hmm. And they come with their little white gowns. Yeah. And I don't know if we're allowed to talk about their
security
customs.
System? Yeah. Hell, I don't know. You go through it. You say, it wasn't no customs. It is a customs, and don't try and take nothing in there. But they were like, all right, welcome.
That literally welcome. I was looking at Joyce, and I think he asked you one question, and I'm trying to get my story together. I'm like, why we here? How long we here?
Normally they do that.
Right. He literally was like.
He said, how long you here? We said 1 day. He said, okay. Like, no thought into it. So they were pretty chill. But I loved it. And then the music was like blasting. It was like, twinga, 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 twinga.
I loved it. Oh, first of all, on the way back.
I cannot.
On the way back, we're in Abu Dhabi airport.
What were you doing?
Getting gifts, of course, because we ran out of time.
Souvenirs.
First of all, we were bargaining so hard that we was like, nah, we'll go to the next one.
Right. The whole time. And we missed all of our chances to do that.
So here we are in the airport on the way back trying to get gifts. So it's whatever. So we rummaging through the stuff. And all I hear is Joyce Milford over the thing. And I'm like, did they just call your name?
I know. I asked the lady, like, is that, what does this mean?
Right.
Knowing why else would they call?
Right.
So she was like, go.
And we're like, can we come back? And she's like, yeah, it's plenty of time.
I don't know that she said that. I feel like she was like.
I thought she was like, yeah, come back. We got our stuff. Sitting here paying. Ran. I don't think I've ever ran that.
No, first we were like, she was like, go. She was like, you might want to go, whatever. So we ran down the hall, but then we were like, dang, what if we can't come back? So we ran back, and we were running back. We were like, get the stuff.
Right.
Get the stuff. So she's like going and getting it. So it was some of the best gifts that we got. But anyway.
For sure.
But yeah, so we get there and we're like booking it. And people are like, America, that way.
Right.
And we just running. We taking turns stopping, catching breath so the next one can run up. It was just a mess.
Right. And then we get to U.S. Customs, which I've never been to a country where I've done U.S. Customs.
Before you get
there. Mm-hmm. We didn't go through Customs when we got back here. We did it before. So we got to Customs, wiping sweat off of our foreheads, literally out of breath. And the guy was like, so, you guys the ones going to D.C.?
Right.
And we're like...
He said, why are you late? Calm down.
And we're literally like...
breathe. But
it was so annoying because clearly we're running and clearly people are like, this way. And
don't be that person to try to calm me down. Like, let me be.
So wait, he's looking at the screen. He's like, is this your bag, Joyce? And I'm like, no, that's my bag.
No, he would look at me like, what about you, Michelle? Like, looking at me like... Come on, let us go. Dang.
Oh, shoot.
He was like, no need to rush.
I was like, don't do this. Because clearly our names are being called over the intercom. Most time they probably called my name. They probably were like, Michael.
Right. Talk about Michael.
Right.
Michael.
But so Customs and Abu Dhabi Hotel, love them.
Yeah.
Commandment 4.
Oh, that's me. Mm-hmm. So, remember cash. Keep it handy. Definitely keep the cash. So like on the larger sales and stuff like that, we were able to use our credit cards and debit cards and all of that, but mainly cash when you're like bargaining, when you're shopping and stuff like that. And then keep the smaller bills too, so that when you are trying to bargain, you're not asking them for change for a $500 bill.
Yeah, ATM's gonna try to spit you out hundreds and stuff like that. You want to have little baby bills so that you can bargain and things like that. I got my cash before. Joyce got hers at the airport.
At the ATM.
Right. But when we went to Cambodia, it was like, do you want American money or do you want Cambodia money? So we're like, we'll get the Cambodia money. I don't want to have to worry about it or whatever. Cambodia is America. Mm-hmm. They literally be like $5, and we're like, we have all this Cambodia money or whatever. Mm-hmm. So we're like, on our way back, we're like, we'll just exchange it when we get to our next place. No one exchanges Cambodian cash. No one. We have it till today.
Wait, I literally got about $70 like a dummy in my purse.
Of Cambodian money.
I carried it around with me, so don't try to.
She's like, right.
But yeah, we still have our Cambodian money. Don't bother with Cambodian dollars.
I mean, I've called 10 places here. They'll be like, "No, we don't do it." I'm literally like,
yeah. So if you're going to Cambodia, take my money with you, please, so that you can exchange it back. But they're not trying to take it back. Again. Exactly. Over a friendship.
Right.
Number 3.
Thou shalt have no other guide before me.
No other. Excuse me.
No other guide before me.
Okay, tour guide. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so some things we opted out of tour guides. One thing we did decide to get a tour guide was they called it the Hangover Tour in Bangkok. That basically took you to a lot of underground clubs. I will never unsee a lot of the stuff I saw in Bangkok.
Yeah, just if you go, you can or you cannot go and see the Hangover Tour. It's in the red light district.
So we had a tour guide in Bangkok, but we didn't anywhere else like Phuket or anything like that. But it was almost great that we had one, because when you don't, those people on the street are vultures.
Yeah.
Come to my bar, come to my club, blow it. But it's like they're in your face, won't move out of your way. It just, when you're with someone, they don't do that. So that was extremely annoying. They are literally in your way.
Yeah.
You're like, move. But that also goes back to people being on your neck at every moment.
Yeah. For the desert safari, we definitely had a tour guide, and that's because we used his vehicle. He took us certain places.
He was great.
Told us about, he was real cool. He's
Shout out to you, Addis.
Addis. It's Addis. It's just disrespectful, Michael. Michelle.
Okay, Joy.
She actually got Michelle. She got Mr. Michael a lot from all the people. But
well, yeah, they just don't know.
But yeah, hell, people in America don't know.
Facts.
But yeah.
Somebody would look at me and still say Michael, and I'm like, anyway.
We'll see the me
right
in it. Yeah, so it's up to you. And a lot of people wrote us, which we told y'all in the first episode, that we don't do our own. I mean, we do all of our own stuff, but no, we did not have a travel agent. No one booked our stuff. We just did our research. We asked our coworkers what we should do, and then we went from there. And we're sharing it with y'all so that y'all don't necessarily have to do that whole process with them, but if you want to, you can too. Yeah, we also, Thailand is extremely cheap, so we decided to do all 5-star hotels, not because we're bougie, just because it's way more affordable than you would probably think. So look into that as well. All right, commandment number 2, thou shalt not get trafficked. No, we mentioned it with the red light district, how people were, they get trafficked. And, this is the underground world of whatever they got going on. We had a little misstep, when we were in Phuket. We were walking back from a little club or bar, and I felt someone on my neck, curveball, and I turned around and I was like, can I help you? But they were super, well, it was only one at the time. He actually said, excuse me. And I grabbed my bag because I thought he was walking through us, but he stopped. But Kel just wasn't paying attention to her surroundings.
I wasn't.
But neither one of us were, because it was 2 of them, 2 smaller men.
Apparently there were 2.
Yeah. But of course I was hungry. We were coming back from something like the Strip, which was Patong Beach. And our hotel was at the end of the Strip. We were walking and I was like, well, maybe if we get food, we could do a slight detour. And then I just wanted
our
food.
Our food was directly across the street from a hotel. So we were like, we've been talking to them for 30 seconds. We're like, we don't want them to see
We were
us.
Walking. We didn't stop at all. We were just
So we, the place we decided to eat was directly across from a hotel. We're like, we don't want them to see us go in this hotel. We'll just take a little detour, get some food. We sat down. Guess who sits directly across from us? These 2 Indian guys. So I'm like, bro, let's get our stuff to go. Let's get out of here. So we get our food. 15 minutes later, we beeline it to the hotel.
We run. Almost flipping tables and everything, trying to be funny.
Right. So we get to the hotel. We're like,
I feel like maybe all of this, because at one point we had a sliding door to the hotel. And so we kind of were looking back, but running. And mind you, we think it's just slight. We don't think anything of it. We don't truly feel threatened by these little men. And I feel like that may have equated to us turning around
Oh, there's not one chance
because
about that
I was trying to figure out all the reasons why they would be, why we were so inviting.
It could have been like, because we did hit the elevator and turn around, so maybe they thought that we were like...
We were running for our life.
Turn around like, make sure they're not behind us. But they probably thought it was like, make sure they're not behind us. Not even. So we get to the second floor, and Joyce is like, I just don't feel right. And I was like, okay. So we like, there's this gym right across the elevator. So she's like, let's just sit in here and see.
But the gym looks like a hotel room. Yeah. You can't tell it's a gym until you walk in and then you see that it's all this stuff. It looks like maybe we have an open room and we're sitting there with our door wide open.
Right. So at this point, I'm like, you're overreacting.
I gotta use the bathroom.
I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I was like, I'm not about to sit here and wait for somebody not to come. So I'm like, let's just go to the room. Maybe it'll be safer there anyway, right? I'm trying to convince her at this point. So we walk out of the room, and guess who comes out of the elevator?
Like, ding!
I literally was like...
The two little men.
Oh, no, y'all didn't.
Yeah.
And all hell broke loose.
Mikkel went off.
Joyce
I'm just kidding.
Finger was going.
No, first of all, I was holding on to my egg rolls, so they weren't going far. But I just felt like at this point, you know, y'all done got all the way up here. Y'all following us. And I said that I hated feeling like the white woman who was like, show me your key. That was her. You do not live here. But at that point, I'm like, no, where y'all staying? But then when they were like, we stand downstairs and nothing but a coffee shop and the concierge desk is down there, I'm like, oh no, let's go. Let's go. We going back downstairs. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, I'm not going to do the voice, but they were like, sorry.
And one went like this.
I felt like I was harassed.
He
was like, sorry. No, you sexually harassed me, sir.
Joyce said, don't you touch me.
I did not cuss. But no, yeah. At that point, because it just was a lot. And then I didn't feel necessarily threatened.
Like, my hand was balled up, though. At this point, I was, at this point, you're in protect yourself mode. You know what I'm saying? What you going to do? You going to fight or you going to flight?
Yeah.
We ran downstairs.
One ran off down the steps that was right there, and the other one was on, but he was like, oh, well, shoot. And then he ran down. Yeah. And then I was thinking, like, dang, because Mikkel, like, earlier that day had took the steps and ended up
my steps in.
Right. She had beat me down the steps. I took the elevator, and I'm like, dang, Mikkel, we should have, we should have went in the stairwell with them. Like, just dumb. Right. But we went downstairs. By the time we got down there, they were booking it out. Yeah. And so the next day, we had told the guy downstairs and all that, whatever.
He was like, I'll call the police if they come again. Like,
yeah.
One time he was smiling while we were telling him. I don't think he really knew what we were saying.
Nice. Thai people are pretty nice.
They're really nice.
Like, you know, they say like Caribbean people just and even black people,
about my Caribbean people,
whatever. Just because you date, I'm just kidding. Just go down your whole facts. But then even like with black people, they say they got that whatever. Thai people are so nice. Mm-hmm. They are really nice.
They just be smiling and shaking their head.
They're really nice. And they're super humble. Like here, I feel like people like they have so much pride where they like hardly want to open doors or like serve you or just be nice. And there they are completely different.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the next day we were telling the woman, like a higher up or whatever, we were just like, hey, did you hear about what happened? And some American, no, he wasn't American. He was white.
He was something else.
He was white, but he wasn't American.
Probably.
Yeah. He was like, do you mind if I ask, where they're from? And he basically told us that Nigerian women come over. He was like, I can tell you're not, like, clearly not Nigerian, but they come over and they sell themselves. Very underground thing. People aren't, like, super forceful or any of that, but that's the thing they probably thought. And we were like, oh.
Yeah.
So they thought we were prostitutes. I
wasn't convinced, but, it made me feel a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah. So we were followed by two little.
And at this point, now we're really thinking, we're like, how long were they in the car, in the club? How long they been following us? Like, what was their motive?
Right. At what point did they see us? Because like dummies, we didn't see them until we were getting ready to walk into our hotel. Right. And we were having fun all night. So we don't know at what point. And that's also why I'm like, thank God for covering us because we just had no idea. These men were literally almost like steps away from our room. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it could have went either way. So
yeah. All right, commandment number 1.
Final one.
Get massages every day. Every day.
Maybe a couple times. Yeah.
I think that massages were 200 bahts, 300 bahts.
Maybe $9, not even $9. $9 for hour-long massages with
hour-long
oil.
Thai massages.
Yeah.
Let me just put that out there. Thai massages are not your normal massages that y'all be going to the spa.
Nah.
They had me in every different position I could think of.
Yeah, it was at one point, me and Mikkel, we were next to each other. Literally, I'm like, I wonder just what it looks like physically.
Right.
It was like they had both of our arms back. They were holding both of our arms. But why did I feel pressure in the middle of my back? The hoe had her
whole foot
in my back while she's pulling my arm. Like, they were like the type that make you sore after, but it was super good.
Well, the very first moment they came in, I literally was like, is she standing over me?
Is she on my back?
I literally was like, oh, I think she's literally hovering over my back. But
yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, every day.
Foot massage. Like, I got just a foot massage. Like, I'm like, I ain't never felt like this before in my life. I was like, whatever you doing, please don't stop.
No, it was amazing. And they're everywhere. You just have to be mindful. Some of the places that you walk past, it's like no sex. Because apparently certain places offer that.
Right.
We ain't got no business with that. But there's definitely some options for you. But the foot and the full body for dirt cheap is the way to go. Get them like every day. Those are the 10 commandments of poor guidance taken on Thailand.
Yes. Take it or leave it.
Yep. Leave it.
Stupid.
Right. But yeah, if y'all have any more questions or anything about that, y'all can definitely let us know. But speaking of questions, we reached out to a few of y'all on our page. Make sure y'all are also following Poor Guidance.
Follow them.
And so we have a few questions. You said we do it. We don't. We don't follow back. No, we need all we get.
Just later now we do.
But yeah, we had a few questions that came from our close friends / followers. We love y'all.
We do love y'all. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're not already. Tell your friends. Tag 3
Send
friends.
us.
Comment.
We're okay. They say like bad publicity is whatever, or I get it. And granted, I don't want it to be bad, but even if you're like, girl, look at her hair.
Dog me out.
Send it. That's fine.
Out.
We can use the views. Yeah. So that's what it is. Is planning necessary, or is it possible to wing the trip? So I don't think we mentioned, but when you go to anywhere in Thailand, you don't have to book anything in advance. Like, don't. Just wait till you get there, see how you feel. You can choose packages on what you want to do. Yeah, you don't have to pay that much. For Abu Dhabi, that's the one place where, and we did that like hours before.
First of all, we did it on the plane.
Yeah, she did it because I was asleep. But
which I think is so funny. So we only had a day in Abu Dhabi going. So we kind of wanted to be a little bit more prepared because we didn't have time to land. Because we landed at nighttime, so we wanted to make sure we got the most of our day. So I literally paid $5 on the plane to get Wi-Fi to email the Desert Safari guy. And so he wrote me on WhatsApp when we landed and was like, it cost this much, don't cancel.
Yeah.
I'll meet you at 7:30
We were like,
a.m.
thanks.
All right.
Yeah, lo and behold, that morning he was there ready to pick us up and we had a great time. So other than that, in Thailand, just wait till you get there to book, and then that way you get to see everything, you get to choose. They do it like, oh, you want to leave you want to leave in the afternoon or you want to leave tomorrow morning, whenever it is. But a lot of them are early morning tours, especially because some of them you have to drive out to do. But you don't have to really plan anything. Because we had such a tight schedule, we wanted to plan, or we knew what we wanted to do. Mm-hmm. We just didn't necessarily solidify everything, which worked in our favor until we got there. Yeah,
the one thing we got before was the elephant sanctuary, the desert safari. Is there anything else that we solidified before? Those are the only two things that we definitely did before. Everything else, we kind of went there and checked it out and was like, let's figure it out as we go.
Everybody in all the places that we stayed in, it was like, why are you being so nice to me?
Honestly.
What is it? Mm-hmm. Cambodia's hotel.
Cambodia, y'all. I love them.
You saw where we were like dipping the rags in the tea and stuff. The whole place, like the music, it was like they had birds just chirping. It just was amazing. They gave us free massages.
Upgraded our room.
Yes.
I don't know what I was like,
the
is that
food
for everybody?
Exactly. They must think we're famous.
If they only knew.
Exactly.
We was carrying around the GoPro.
Yeah, but we look busted.
We influencers.
Exactly. Influencing nobody. We begging y'all to watch our show.
Comment and subscribe, please.
Exactly. Please stay. Miracle Spa and Resort. Yeah, Resort Spa. That place was amazing. If you go to Cambodia, let us know. You have to stay there.
It was
everything
amazing.
From the food, from the girl who was playing in the lobby, the xylophones. It was
yeah. I mean, the people there, the guy that like checked us in, he walked us to our room. We literally were like, "Thank you for the." He was like, "Oh no, I'm taking you."
He was like, "You wearing that? You wearing that to the temple?" That was the one who was like, "Joy." When I came out, that place was amazing. But everybody, all of the people that worked in the hotels, they were amazing. Everybody was nice. We didn't run into too many rude people at all.
Y'all know I have to tell my name 7-8 times before it clicked. This man the next morning was like, "Good morning, Mikhail." I literally was like,
yeah.
"You remember me?"
Yeah.
How do you remember?
They were sweet. They were too nice. Someone asked, "How did you find where to stay?" Research.
Google.
And then we were like, party parts.
Right.
Party areas in Phuket.
Yeah.
And people, I don't know who, but they literally like, if you like quiet, and it's like levels. If you like quiet,
stay in
beach,
this area.
blah, 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 this is for you. And I have the markings. If you like party, nightlife, beach it, and it'll have that. So just really doing the research and saying this is the vibe that we want to be in. And then we looked at price points, ratings and reviews, and then we went from there.
We typically will look at Airbnb, but we didn't think it was necessary since we were going to such a cheap place that we could afford a 5-star hotel. So I think our main sites we go to is Priceline and Expedia, only because they give reviews, American reviews about what it's looking like from an American perspective. So they have really good reviews. So we went through there for most of our stay. Budget-wise, how did you know what you wanted to do? We didn't.
All we knew was we wanted to do elephants.
Yeah. And
Desert Safari.
Desert Safari.
Yeah.
Whatever else we want to do, we knew we would figure it out when we got there.
Yeah. That's the only thing. The elephants probably was the most expensive thing. Other than that,
it was like hard to say budget because everything is dirt cheap. So it's like you end up splurging regardless.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like we found ourselves at the ATM pulling out money again and again and again. And not that like it was expensive. It's just we kept buying.
Right.
We kept getting stuff. We kept wanting to get more. We got more souvenirs than even necessary.
Tipping OD just because you think you're doing something.
Balling. And they're like, "Oh my God, thank you so much."
Right.
Not really. They're not thanking God, and they're also not saying thank you, but
Right.
they're like going super hard, not knowing that like I only took 10%.
Right. Right. Yeah, so it wasn't, I had an idea of how much I wanted to spend total for the trip, and that's about it. Then I was like, all right, what can I do with this amount?
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Along with getting massages every day, so it was definitely worth it.
Yeah, and I did not look at my account until I was back at work the next Monday, so they just don't need to. You can just save yourself the trouble.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah.
I really wish I could get my money back for that Cambodian currency.
Yeah.
All right, peak and pit. You want to go first?
Yes. So
okay,
my pit. Let's do my pit. My pit. What was at one point I was about to beat Mikhail's ass. I'm just kidding. Not really. Yeah, no. One of my pits. One of my pits was when we were in Cambodia. We I had like a couple glasses of wine and got a massage, and just on top of the day's activities and everything else.
Your pit?
Pit.
Okay.
I went to sleep. We both went to sleep. We crashed after like a great day, but then we woke up at an awkward time. It's like I was good. I was like, children out of corn. What are you doing? We woke up and it was just like an awkward time. It was like a little bit too late to go out. We only had one night. We also had to pack before the next day because it was just. But yeah, so it was just like an awkward time because we wanted to go out, but it was kind of late, and then I felt like
this was like day 8.
Yeah, and we're like, we want to do so much more, or we don't want to come all the way here and not go out, or do this last bit. But then it was just like whatever. So that was just like an awkward feeling. Another thing, when we were doom bashing, Sand duning?
Let me get back to you on that one.
Yeah, when we were doing that, I just started to get motion sickness. And I was like, it was cool the first 60 seconds of going around and sliding in the sand. But after a while, I was like, my stomach cannot take this.
And he was like, all right, I'll stop. And it's all right, this is it. I'm gonna be done now. And would go right over the hump. And I'm literally like, Joyce is dying. But I was like, my stomach's turned, so I know Joyce is dying.
So after a while, I was just like, this is not for me.
Yeah.
That my peak was.
I thought you were about to say another pit. Just have all pits.
Right. No, my peak was Cambodia. All that stuff I said before. I loved Cambodia. It was just so peaceful and serene. I loved everything about Cambodia except the mosquitoes. That place was awesome. It was a little quiet there, but as expected, all the activities matched. It wasn't crazy big city life, all of that stuff. Spa was amazing. But then also the elephants. That was my favorite part. It was almost an out of norm experience, because we were just with these crazy large creatures, and you could see from the first few pictures where we have on all of our clothes, still have on our bags, and we're all right, let's take this picture.
You're really taking the words out of my peak.
My bad. And then we're literally on their feet, washing and bathing in that dirty ass water with them, and it just was amazing. Just such a good experience, and to know how we felt after. We didn't see them getting treated badly. People were with them to grow and take care of them. They were rescued and stuff like that. But just to hear the story, hear the mission behind it, hearing where our money and being able to see where our money's going to, just everything about that experience was just amazing. So that was my peak for the trip.
So my pit was probably trying to get on the right time zone. The first thing they say when you get somewhere where you're in a different time zone is you're supposed to stay awake. We didn't.
We went straight to sleep. We literally was we're only going to take a 2-hour nap.
Please. So we ate, and I told y'all earlier, I just was, I was having an out-of-body experience. My stomach was hurting, my head was hurting, I couldn't even speak. At dinner, Joyce was trying to have a conversation. I literally was, my head was down. I just was I don't like this.
She was being
feeling.
dramatic, if you ask me.
I was being so dramatic. And then so we took a nap, woke up at 7 p.m. We got there at 8 a.m. So we were
we slept the first day away.
Technically at this point we are still on, U.S. time. Mm-hmm. So
it was a 12-hour difference.
12 hours difference. And I was we have got to get on the right time zone. So I was having trouble getting on the right time zone, and you want to do so much during the day, and then you also want to do nightlife, and then wake up and do the next thing. Starts at 6 a.m. We'll be at your door at 6:30 or whatever. So it's almost impossible to have all day and all night and do that for 10 days in a row. But so I found myself being exhausted a lot. So that was probably my pit. Trying to get on time zone, feeling tired a lot. I didn't like that, but we pushed through though regardless.
Yeah.
We rallied.
We were sleeping on the way to everywhere.
Every plane, we were let me get this 2 hours real quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, and my peak was absolutely the elephant sanctuary. Like Joyce was saying, when I go through the pictures, even today, I'm I was shook trying to feed them. And that's the first thing they have you do. And I'm standing 20 feet away from them, reaching. And then then you look up and you're in mud water with these animals.
Duty water.
Mud, but giving them mud baths. And rinsing them off and scrubbing them and stuff. So it's it was a cool experience. Plus they had buffet style food.
Oh my gosh, the food at the place was amazing.
That was the second best meal I think I had. Mm-hmm. It was funny. We met a couple there from America, and they were this is the most we've eaten the whole trip because
we served ourselves.
My plate was so full, y'all. I ate so good there. But even the tour guides there, they were so witty.
Yeah, they were funny.
And of course, one of those was Kiki, do you love me?
Everybody kept saying that.
I'm y'all saying that to us for what?
Right.
So yeah, so Elephant
you look
Sanctuary.
Like Kiki.
Okay.
Right.
Because I'm black.
Right.
So yeah, Elephant Sanctuary was the best part of the trip for sure.
Mm-hmm. So this week's quote is...
Nope.
I'm just like, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Should we say more? I feel like it speaks for itself.
Yeah, Philippians 4:13. We really don't have to say anything, and not to be funny with like making this whole thing kind of like Bible based or anything religious based, but this entire trip, visiting the temples, is all very historic, especially when it comes to religions. And by the way, everybody in Thai, it was some places like even Angkor Wat, the temple, they were utilized by two completely different religions, but everybody still had the same amount of respect for each religion. Like they didn't force anything on you. They weren't trying to make you conform or do anything like that. But it was cool because we still felt comfortable with who we were and being invited into their space, them probably knowing we don't even know what to do when we get in the presence of monks.
Barely took off our shoes.
Right. They were like, and it's like, no problem. But to know that like we still were grounded in who we are, and then also that we were able or afforded financially, but then just also like mentally the opportunity to go on this trip and to come back and be able to share our story with y'all. So it just is cool, and we thought that it was only right that we make that our quote of the episode. My Lord definitely watched over us. Oh, for sure. On this trip. He had our back, so you can't do that but thank him for blessing us with this opportunity and getting us back safe. Yeah. I can't tell y'all the amount of people that I shared my location with, because they were like, I just sold my mom. Right. Low-key, I was nervous as hell. I literally was like, Miguel? Well, too, on the plane, I was like, she said, put me off the plane. It ain't too late, right, Joyce? Right? Joyce? We were super nervous. We were nervous about the flight. We were nervous about different territory, the trafficking, just staying, the food, everything. Right. But to know we were just like, we going with God, and that's all that matters. And he brought us back, so that is all that matters. So now we'll do the benediction since we all into. Let me stop playing. Yeah. Come on, y'all. Tie with us. Let's do some e-giving. Right. Ooh, I should put get the vibe. Put my Cash App at the bottom, Joyce. All right. No, but for real, thanks for tuning in. If y'all liked anything or hated anything, or you just want to talk and make jokes about us. Shout me out. Nah, I'm just playing. We love y'all. Whatever, yeah. Thanks for rocking with us. Yeah, we'll see you next time. Peace.